help green our city's existing skyline. In New York City, carbon emissions created by buildings account for 80% of our city's total carbon emission output. So with this package of legislation, we're bringing our proud tradition of leading by example into the 21st century and creating jobs in the process. This set of bills, which affects buildings over 50,000 square feet, will in essence impact actually over 50% of all commercial square footage in the city. These far-reaching bills will, one, encourage energy efficiency improvements through requiring energy audits and retro-commissioning. Two, raise awareness and lower costs of energy usage by requiring buildings to benchmark their energy and water use. Three, mandate buildings to upgrade their lighting systems and install sub-meters by 2025. Four, create New York City's first ever energy code. Let me thank Majority Leader Joel Rivera for joining us and Councilmember Melissa Mark-Viverito for also joining us. These four pieces of legislation, when taken together, will have a tremendous environmental and economic impact on the future of our city. These bills will lower energy usage, reduce energy costs with a savings of $700 million over 10 years, and then after that, $700 million a year every year. They will also reduce emissions from buildings by 4.75% citywide, helping meet our mandate to reduce greenhouse emissions by 2030. They'll also improve reliability of our power grid, create almost 18,000 green jobs over 10 years, position New York as what it should be, a national leader on energy efficiency, and help fight against the serious problem of climate change. Not only are we proud of what these bills accomplish, we are also tremendously proud of the civic process these bills went through to get to this point today. These bills have the strong support, and some of these environmental leaders are with us today, and we thank them: the National Resource Defense Council, the Pratt Center for Community Development, the Environmental Defense Fund, the Regional Plan Association, the New York League of Conservation Voters, the Urban Green Council, it used to be called the U.S. Green Buildings Council of New York, UPROSE, We Act for Environmental Justice, the Real Estate Board of New York, and the Partnership for New York City. Working together with the administration, environmental advocacy groups, construction, housing, and building organizations, we're literally making our world-famous city's skyline greener and greater, more green and greater than it has ever been before. There's a lot of folks who have done a lot to make these pieces of legislation a reality in the city. I want to thank Mayor Bloomberg for his work on this. This was really a team effort between the council and the mayor's office. I want to thank particularly Rit Agarwal from his Office of Sustainability, but also the council members who have been leaders on this, in particular the chair of our Environmental Protection Committee, Jim Gennaro, but also Dan Garodnick, who's joined us, Dominic Recchia, who'll be here in a second, and Councilmember Melissa Mark-Viverito. They were all together, the sponsors of the legislation, but let me first call on Jim.
Sure. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Yes, this is a really great day to be moving these bills forward. Just a little context. People remember back in 2007, we did the Climate Protection Act that mandated a reduction of greenhouse gas emissions in the New York City government by 2017, the city as a whole by 2030. And when we passed that law, it meant that we were going to have to do things like this. And we've done things, you know, since then. We're taking this very, very big step today, and we're going to be taking steps post today to make sure that we get to the mandated 30% reduction. And while this is couched as a bill that's going to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, which it certainly will, there is no way to reduce greenhouse gas emissions without also reducing the other pollutants that we care so much about that drive kids to, you know, clinics with asthma and other kinds of problems. Things like ozone, things like particulate matter, carbon monoxide, nitrogen oxide, sulfur dioxide, heavy metals. These are the local air quality problems that we have in New York City that will be greatly helped by these bills. and so while we're doing our part to act locally to save the planet. We're acting locally to help our own air quality, and that's something that really can't be stressed enough. With regard to the bill that I was the prime sponsor of, and I imagine the other members will talk about their individual bills. I had the audits and retro commissioning bill. It's actually an audits and a retro commissioning and a retrofit bill for New York City government. And what this does is that every 10 years, all buildings that are captured by the bill will have to do an energy audit to identify where they can make improvements to save energy and the amount of time it will take to get that cost made back by decreased energy costs. And we gave a couple of roadmaps to how people can comply. There is, if you have a simple building, one that doesn't have a lot of complicated systems, you can either do the audit as required by the bill or do some simple steps to make improvements to the building. Very, very common and very, very cost-effective things. So we gave another pathway to come into compliance. Regarding buildings that have done this work in the near term, in the last couple of years, they did not act in vain. They can use what they've done to sort of seek compliance with the bill. So anyone who did this recently is not going to be punished for having done something good. And the audits, the first one will be due in 2013. It'll be over a 10-year period. So the first round of audits will be due into 2013. They'll go to 2022, and then every building will be on a 10-year cycle. I think it's certainly very important to talk about what the speaker did about the great effort that we had between us and the Bloomberg administration and all of the environmental group and all of the health advocates that got us to this very, very good day. And I'm very, very proud of my partners who co-sponsored the other bills. They will all be speaking, and I look forward to passing this bill. It's a very, very good day for the air quality of the city of New York and for doing what we all have to do as a planet to try to hold back problems with the climate. Thank you all very much.
Thanks, Jim. Let me thank Councilmember Van for joining us, and now call on one of the other sponsors of this package, Dan Garodny.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I want to start out by recognizing all of the work that you did, and of course, along with the Mayor's Office and the advocates who are here, as well as Chairman Gennaro and the other sponsors. Most of us don't look at a skyscraper and see a polluter, and yet that's a reality in New York City. There are no smokestacks or exhaust pipes visible necessarily to remind us, but we all know now that large buildings are the source of 80% of our carbon emissions. One reason for the staggering number is missed opportunities to improve. The state energy code, which has been our legal standard for building renovations, is too lax, allowing inefficient systems to be replaced by equally inefficient systems. Under the state code, so long as owners are making changes to less than 50% of their building systems, they do not need to make environmentally sustainable upgrades. So today, if a building owner were to change 49% of the windows, he or she could install outdated models that fail to meet existing industry standards. Because so many of the renovations in our large buildings are done floor by floor or tenant space by tenant space, the 50% exemption rule means that many opportunities for energy conservation may be literally going right out the window. We can do better, and the urgency of climate change requires it. From hot water heaters to lighting systems and installation, we can and we will make nearly every component of a building more efficient. This City Green Energy Code, the bill that I have the privilege of being the lead sponsor on, is a targeted measure that will allow us to tackle our biggest source of greenhouse gases head on. Working in tandem with the other bills in this package, this bill will reduce our carbon footprint and serve as a powerful example for other cities in the nation and in the world for how to adapt to the demands of climate change. I'm very, very excited about this groundbreaking package of legislation we're passing today, and thank you again, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Dan.